everything goes smooth and I don't have any technology issues like I normally do. Pain in my behind, guys. Pain in my behind. But something always goes weird doing my live. But we're going to pray over this one and make sure nothing goes wrong. Our Heavenly Father, thank you, God, for joining us all here today. We pray over everyone that's viewing this live and everybody that is viewing this live on a later date, viewing the playback. And Heavenly Father, bless my technology and help everything go smooth. In the name of Jesus, in the name of God, thank you. Amen. All right, there we go. We are protected from the devil today. Oh. Let me make sure I'm muted over here. All right, and I'm gonna let like just a few people join in before we get started, guys. I have a nice story to tell you guys about yesterday's events and what happened. And the key takeaway I want you guys to remember is that a lot of us have many different ways of pricing our items, specifically when it comes to embroidery. And I think a lot of us should try to like create a universal system so that everybody is kind of on the same playing field as far as pricing is concerned. And there should be just a few variables, right? So without further ado, as you are joining this live, let me know where you are viewing from. Hit that like button so the video gets pushed out into the algorithm. And guys, let's get this party started, y'all. You already know what time it is, guys. Good morning, and Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you so much, Margie, for joining in the live this morning. I'm so excited to share with you guys what happened yesterday. I'm just in a good mood right now. It's the holiday season, and it's snowing outside here in Philadelphia. Well, King of Prussia. So let's talk about what happened. All right. So yesterday, business was slow, guys. Business was super slow. So I went to the studio. I did about 6 gang sheets. That's all the orders that I had. And I'm like, you know what? After I did my 6 gang sheets, I shot a video for you guys, showing you guys my new ventilation system that I set up in the studio. I'm still going to edit that video today and upload it today. So look forward to that. And after that, I'm like, all right, I'm going to leave the studio, go edit this video and upload it. And then I'm going to go live. I went to Trader Joe's, grabbed some salmon, grabbed some blueberries, got some granola, and I forgot what else, something else. Oh, and some, I forgot. But then I got in the parking lot, my phone rang, my business phone, not my personal phone. All right. Personal phone, business phone, my business phone rang. A-Dubb Productions Printing and Embroidery Studio. How can I help you? Yes. Do you guys embroider on garments if we provide the garments? My response was, I try not to, but I can. What would you like done? And they said, we have 35 sweaters, I forgot what they said. We have 35 of them, and they need to be embroidered on left chest, just a simple design. I said, 35, okay, when do you need them by? They said, well, when you get the that's when you know they need them like now, right? Oh, Jesus. Anyway, so they said, well, somebody was supposed to get them done, but they dropped the ball and we want to give them to our staff for Christmas. So instantly I'm like, you know what? I need a business. Not really doing anything right now. I wanted to go edit this video for YouTube, but let me make the money. Let me try to make the money. Let's try to help these people out first and foremost. So price popped into my head. Thought for a second. I said, hey, can you send me the graphic? Can you text message me the graphic to this phone number right here so I can have a look at it? So they said, yeah, I'm going to text it to you right now. And then they text messaged it to me. They said, it's just 4 letters. And I'm like, cha-ching, right? Because I know it's not going to take a long time for me to do 35 garments, 4 letters, at least so I thought, right? So they sent me the picture. I said, okay, that's sweet, easy, right? So one thing we got to remember in pricing, right? You don't want to get too greedy, but at the same time, you don't want to cheap yourself out and don't charge a price that you deserve and that people should be paying relative to the job that you're doing, right? Meaning, it's last minute. Somebody was supposed to do it. They can't get it done anywhere else. At least so it seems, right? Any regular shop, like a large shop that actually has a brick and mortar, is not going to take this job. I don't know. I don't think they are, especially in the afternoon. It was early afternoon, maybe like 1 or 2 o'clock. They're not going to get it done by Christmas. Just forget about it, right? And actually not even by Christmas, before Christmas, right? They're not going to take the job. So, what pops into my head? I'm thinking about, okay, how can I price this in a way that is fair to me and the customer's also gonna agree to that price? They're providing the garment. All I have to do is digitize and embroider. I have 8 multi-needle machines that I can use to do this job. So what's a fair price for me, right? And I knew it wasn't going to be that stitches. I'm anticipating in my head that it's probably going to be 7,000 stitches at the most, right? So this is what I went into. I'm going to show you guys real fast. Let me open my embroidery price calculator. Okay, so modified iPhone. Boom. I don't know why it keeps on doing this. All right. Wait a minute. Apple did an update and they are killing me right now. Keep. Let me see if I can change the numbers. It's not added. Okay, cool. All right, 800. Boom. Okay. So let me plug this in so you guys can see this. All right. So let me do a pip real fast and show you guys how I get a general sense of how much I should be charging. All right. Let me choose a different pip here. Pip is picture in picture, guys. All right, no, and let me do it like this. All right, here we go. All right, so this is my embroidery price calculator. It is a calculator that is available on my website. It's hidden, so you have to search it. You have to go in allanawade.com, go in the search bar, and type in embroidery price calculator. It's available for Android as well as Apple. It's a digital download. You put it, you add it to cart, pay for it, and then you get a download. And then you can open up in Apple numbers or in, Android, whatever the numbers app is in Android. I forgot what it is because I use it all the time on iPhone. So let me tell you what I did. All right, so up top right here, you see where it says total stitches. So I estimated that this was going to be 7,000 stitches. I told myself I'm going to run my machine at 800 stitches per minute. That's a second. And it automatically gave me the amount of time each garment was going to take to embroider. All right, so in here, I would change it to 35, right? So I would go here and I would go 35, right? And then when I change to 35, it tells me the exact amount of minutes that it's going to take, which is 306 minutes. All right. You put in how many heads you're going to use. Okay. So I estimated that I was going to be able to use 4 heads, and it told me that the total minutes is 76.5625, and the total hours for the job would be 1.27, judging by all those calculations that I put in, right? 7,000 stitches I estimated for the design, 800 stitches per minute. I'm running my machine. It gives me the total minutes to embroider 1. Then you put in how many pieces. Then it tells you the total minutes. Then you put in how many heads that you're using. Then it told you the total minutes again, recalculated by the amount of heads. And then it calculates that into how many hours it's going to take. You put in how much you want to pay yourself per hour, and it gives you the price for the job. You put in the tax, and it tells you how much you should charge the client. And that's astronomically high. Obviously, I'm not going to charge my client $893. Okay, so 1 second. What I would do is I would adjust my rate per hour, because $100 an hour is probably like too much. I'll put like 50 maybe. And there you go. That's the calculation that I looked at when I calculated this. I normally pay myself in the embroidery price calculator $50 an hour. All right. So the total price that the embroidery price calculator gave me was $446.61. Right. So this embroidery price calculator gives you an idea of what you should be charging minimum for your job. All right. Now, what I ended up doing on my own is I determined that I should be charging $15 per piece because it was a rush order. Now, at the price that the embroidery price calculator calculates, it's if it's not a rush order, this is what I should be charging, right? So what I did was I went on my handy dandy calculator on my iPhone right here, and I typed in 15 times 35, and that gave me $525, right? And I thought that would be fair for the customer to pay because they're providing the garment. Only thing I have to do is digitize and embroider, at least so you think, right? And then I'm going to use 4 heads, and I'm going to get this job done super, super fast. So many things in embroidery we don't account for, guys. And that's what I wanted to have this conversation for, because I want to break down how this job went and how easy or difficult it was, and the things that we don't account for a lot of the times, right? So, in the chat, I got Erica says, good morning. Good morning, Erica. Good morning. Will Stewart says, what's up, bro? What's going on, Will? Isora Woodruff says, good morning. Good morning. And Levite says, yo, homie. Hey, hi, all. What's going on? What's going on, Levite? So, all right, let's get back to it. All right. So they were about an hour away from me when I gave them the address to drop off the merch. I was all the way across town. It was only going to take me 30 minutes to get back. So, boom, get on the expressway, go back to the studio. And, oh yeah. They asked, okay, how can I make the payment? How can I send a payment? So what I did was I created an invoice in Square, and I sent them the invoice. And Square added their tax and their fee onto the invoice, and then that's what the client paid. Once I got the payment, before I got to the house, they sent me, hey, I made the payment. I checked my Square app. It was paid in full. So then, boom, I got on my machine, my Mac, and digitized the design. Oh, I should have showed you guys. I should have had that plugged in. My Mac is over there. This is my PC plugged up. Anyway, digitize the design. Now I'm waiting for the garments, right? So the garments get there. It's 2 big boxes. It looks like it's more than it is, but turns out they're big, thick Carhartt jackets. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, cool. So they left, go downstairs, test embroider 1. What did I do after I tested embroider? Didn't like the way it stitched out. Made a few adjustments on the software test embroidered it again, sent them a picture of it, and they said, okay, great, thank you. Okay, so that's my approval. Boom. Now let's get it. Now let's get running. Okay, so let's talk about things that we don't account for when embroidering. In the chat, I want you guys to join in. What are some things that we don't account for when embroidering? I'm going to tell you, like, one thing that a lot of people don't think about, especially in terms of efficiency, right? So I have 7 heads, right? So I should get down that job so fast. I anticipated using 4 heads, right? Because it's only 35 jackets, right? But a lot of the times what we don't think about is by the time I digitize the design, in the chat, guess how many stitches the design was? I counted that it should be 7,000 stitches in my embroidery price calculator. Yep, somebody said skill set, somebody said stabilizer. Now let me go back to my embroidery price calculator and show you guys something, right? All right, so in my embroidery calculator, right here, I anticipated the design being 7,000 stitches. By the time I digitize it, it was max 2,500 stitches. 7,000 to 2,500 stitches. So that drastically reduced the time that it was going to take, especially using 4 heads, right? And look at the price. The price went down to $159 if it was a regular schmegler day, right? But again, it was rush. So yeah. So I didn't know it was going to be that little bit of stitches, but still, last minute, I told him I can have it done in 2 hours, and I could have it done in 2 hours, but there's some things that you don't account for, which in turn will make you not have it done in 2 hours. Okay. So Levi said 23,000 stitches. Nah, man, the design was only 2,500 stitches. That's how fast it embroidered. So each one would literally take 3 minutes to embroider, according to the embroidery price calculator right here, which is accurate, you know. And then 35 pieces using 4 heads, 27 minutes total, not even an hour to get done. But as I said, there are things in embroidery that we don't account for, right? Okay, so let me get into it. All right, what happened? All right. First, I got the merchandise. All the jackets were folded nicely and in plastic, right? That's how they shipped. That's how the customer got them. So I had to take each one individually out of the plastic, right? Then you have to cut the stabilizer, right? Then you have to hoop it, right? Then you have to hoop each garment, and then you have to embroider each garment. Then after you embroider each garment, you have to trim the cutaway stabilizer from the back, along with trim all the threads in the back that there might be. I didn't have that many at all. And then you have to fold the garment back and put it back inside the plastic and put it back inside the box, which is one thing that we don't really account for. We don't account for all those small details that happens that you want to actually do to set yourself above. Well, let's face it, we all should be doing it. If somebody gives you something that's in a plastic folded, after you embroider on it, you should fold it back and put it back in the plastic so it looks like as close as possible to what they gave you, right? That's what you should be doing, period. So, all right, is the embroidery price calculator available for purchase? Yes. If you go on AlanAwade.com, it's not visible on the site. You have to go in the search menu. Let me show you guys. All right, let me just show you. The best thing to do is to show you. All right. Let's go on my website here. Let me switch over so you guys can see. This is my website, AlanAwade.com. If I go to search and I type in calculator, all right, see, you got the embroidery price calculator, for Apple numbers, and you got the embroidery price and time calculator for Google Sheets for Android. So if you have a Mac, you would click on this one. There you go. You would add it to cart. You'd pay for it. It emails you a digital download, and you get the embroidery price calculator. You open up that file in Apple numbers. If you're on Android, you obviously download the other version, the Apple, the calculator. You download this version if you're on an Android phone. Click on that, add to cart, pay for it. You get the digital download, and you open this one up in Google Sheets, which is an app that comes on your Android phone. All right. Things that you don't realize. Okay. What's going on, Fidel? Good morning, man. Thank you so much for joining in. Shout out to Fidel, the most knowledgeable screen printer in the East Coast, maybe the West Coast, maybe the world. This is my sensei when it comes to screen printing. Taught me everything I know, and I only know this much compared to the vast knowledge that is in Fidel's brain. All right, so let's continue on, guys. Let's continue on. So things I didn't account for. All right, so I hoop a garment, right? First, and then I added all the files to the machines that I was going to use. I added on to 2 machines, actually. The other 2 I was going to get going in a little while. I actually planned on using 5 machines for this job, but let me tell you what happened. A lot of people don't think about this, right? And this happened to me before when I was doing hats in my studio, when I had the studio in the hood. But I moved out of that place. Anyway, I digress. So I hooped it. I put one jacket on, hooped another one, put that jacket on, press start. That machine stopped. Took it off, hooped another one. I'm using 5x5 inch hoops. I got like 6 of those things, right? 6 or 7 of those things. I got a lot of them. Hooped another one, put it in the machine, press start. That machine stopped, right? So in other words, in some instances, it doesn't matter how many machines that you have. If you don't have another body, the amount of machines does not matter. So in this case, the jobs were only taking 3 to 4 minutes each. So I could only, as an individual, get 2 machines up and running. It didn't make any sense to try to use 5 machines or 4 machines or even 3 machines because I physically am one person and I can only get 2 machines running. By the time I get both machines running, one stops. So the whole time I'm doing this nonstop. Hoop, boom, start. This one stop. Boom. Take that one out. Boom, boom. I think when I finally got my rhythm, I had 4 hooped and both machines going, right? And then there was never a point where I stopped, where I stopped. But and I say the whole job, I probably had, like, to be honest, 2 thread breaks and two bobbins ran out because they always say like to put in a new bobbin when you start a job. I think most people probably don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't. So I didn't even look at the bobbin to see how much bobbin I had left, to be honest. But yeah, 2 bobbin changes because those bobbins were probably halfway out anyway. And like 2 thread shreds. I won't call it thread break because it wasn't thread break. It was thread sheds. Sometimes the thread like shrivels up and it like turns into a little fine. You guys know what I'm talking about. But I was just back to back. It probably took me maybe an hour to get done. Maybe. And after everything was done, that's when I realized, oh, okay, yeah. I gotta cut the backing off and cut it off neatly. And No fatalities. Lucky to say, all the garments embroidered flawlessly. That's what I mean by no fatalities. And when the actual embroidery job is done, you are not out of the water yet. All right, because you can still make a very, very crucial mistake, which I didn't, but I have before. All right, so I want you guys to be aware of this mistake that you can make. Comment in the comment section if this has happened to you before. The mistake that you can make is you have to be very, very careful when trimming off your cutaway stabilizer, because if you're trying to go fast, which you shouldn't at this point, you should slow down at this point, because it is very easy to cut a garment. And if you're not careful, you will cut a garment by accident. All right, so there's a certain way that you should do it, right? You should like hold the stabilizer back, make sure you're looking at the back of the garment and not the back of the stabilizer, looking at the back of the garment and where the threads are, and then cut so you can see physically that you're not cutting the garment, because you will cut the garment. You will cut a garment. In the comments, let me know if you have ever cut a garment before. DJ Kev says, I have a hat order I would like to use you for. How do I contact you? You contact me, A-Dubb Productions at gmail.com, or you can go on my website and you can put an inquiry, but let me go in the chat real fast and I can type in my email address. And thank you so much for all the channel members that are viewing right now. A-Dubb Productions at gmail.com. Put that in the chat. All right. So guys, all right, so after you take your time and trim away all the backing, all the excess backing, then you want to take your time, fold up your garments, put them back in a plastic, put it in a box, and then you're scot-free. But for the most part, you're out of the water after you cut the backing off, right? Carefully. Because like I said, it's happened to me on items that I did for myself. And I think I might have messed up one shirt before by accidentally cutting a shirt. That's happened to me before. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this on replay, if that has ever happened to you. If you've cut into a garment accidentally before while cutting off some cutaway stabilizer. So, I mean, cutaway stabilizer. So this morning, the client came and picked up the jackets. They were very appreciative and everything went smooth in this job, and I'm happy about that. And I want to share this whole experience with you because I don't see anybody sharing their jobs and how things go, and so many different variables that can happen while embroidering. And I think it's a very, very important part for people to learn, right? And important because there's so many different nuances that just in talking to you right now, I didn't even cover everything that could go wrong, right? You know, you could use the wrong stabilizer and your garment could embroider totally different if you're using the wrong stabilizer. I'll give you an example. Black stabilizer to me is trash. The black cutaway stabilizer is weaker than white cutaway stabilizer. Why? I think it's because the dye that they might use in a stabilizer to dye it black, it ruins the integrity. But comment to me if you've had that experience, because I have black cutaway and I have white cutaway. The white cutaway is stronger than the black cutaway. When I use the black cutaway to do my test stitches, it's almost like my embroidery is like cutting through the black cutaway, and they're the same weight and everything, but the white cutaway is stronger. So I always just use white. I don't even use black anymore. It's just there. I don't know. Maybe if you have, I would say a black shirt, but if it's a solid black shirt, you can still use the white stabilizer because you can't see through it. So yeah, I always just buy white dense cutaway stabilizer. All right, so cut many polo shirts while cleaning them up. Yep. So there you go. There you have it. There's JSM Creation, JMS Creations, JSMS. I gotta get it right. Creation says she's cut many polo shirts while cleaning them up. So she knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'm glad. It's always helpful to have somebody that actually does the thing, cosign that what I'm talking about is not just BS, right? So, that went smooth. So, let's move on. Got a comment in a video that I did. DJ Kev says, I normally use wash away, only cutaway for jackets and super heavy garments. Interesting. I use wash aways for the top. Yeah, cutaway stabilizer is to stabilize the embroidery, and you should always use cutaway on stuff that you're gonna wear. Here's why. All right, so if you use wash away as a stabilizer, arguably it could still stabilize the garment, but here's what's gonna happen. And here's why you should use cutaway stabilizer. The stabilizer is not just to stabilize the garment. Oh, he says, not topper. Okay. Well, the stabilizer is to not only stabilize the garment while it's embroidering, but the stabilizer also lives with the garment forever. Because what happens is, if you cut away all of the stabilizer, or if you use wash away stabilizer, what happens is when the person decides to wash the garment, your embroidery has nothing there to keep the stitches stable. So your thread starts to shrivel up and starts to move around, and it messes up the integrity and the look of the actual part that's embroidered. In the chat, if you know what I'm talking about, leave your comments in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. If you don't have something to keep that embroidery stable, the threads get all messed up and the design starts looking like trash, right? In the comments, let me know if you know what I'm talking about, if you can word that better. But that's what stabilizer is for. Stabilizer is not only just to stabilize the garment while it's embroidering, but it's also to keep the design looking clean after it's embroidered, after many, many washes. It keeps the structural integrity of the design and of the threads together, right? If you take it away, if you wash it away, the threads get loose, and then the design looks all wavy and looks all crappy after a wash, and especially after dry. So that's why you should always use cutaway stabilizer and always keep it there. I might be interpreting what you're saying wrong, DJ Cool Kev, but he says not topper, wash away stabilizer, and he says incorrect. The thread will shrink. Yes, it will. Not true. Sewing thread. I'm not sure what you mean, DJ Cool Kev. So I might be DJ Kev one. I might be interpreting everything wrong. So my apologies if I am. DJ Kev says I have to teach more about the techniques that I use in the fashion industry. Yes, you definitely do. You definitely should, because I know I might be saying it wrong. If you want to call in, bro, if you want to call in, I can give you a call-in number and you can call in and explain it to us. Let me know if you want to call in, and I will leave that feature available so you can give you the call-in number and you can explain to us what you mean, because I might be interpreting what you're saying totally wrong. It's hard to do this, right, and interpret what somebody's saying just by reading a few lines, right? So my apologies if I'm interpreting that wrong. Okay, so let's move on. So got a question. Let me know if you want to. Oh yeah, you said sure. Okay, 1 second. Let me turn this feature on real fast and let me make it possible so you can call in. This should be fun. And I want you to explain to everybody what you're talking about. All right, Android. Where's my Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi. Done. Let me look for my devices. I should have did this before I got on here. Give me a second, guys, to set this up. I gotta connect my phone. This is the thing with Androids. Yeah, me and Androids don't get along. Connected to the network, but how do I search for devices on the Android? Stupid. Androids are stupid. I might just do it on my iPhone. It's so easy. Everything's so much easier on the iPhone. You give me a second. Boom. Nearby devices. No. Bluetooth. Here we go. Here we go, guys. All right, we're connected here. Yes, we are connected. All right. Let me give you the caller number. It's a whole nother situation. All right. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right. Copy this number down, guys. Copy this number down if you want to call in. Let me find my number because I don't know my number by heart. Okay. 445 272 8028. Call in right now and explain what it is that you're talking about. 445 272 8028. DJ Kev 11151. All right, so that's the number. 445 272 8025. Let me see if I can put it on the screen for you guys, for anybody else that wants to come. Okay, here we go. Good morning, good morning.
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Allen?
What's going on, man? Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear DJ Kev. Let me know if you guys can hear him. And DJ Kev, I might have been interpreting what you were saying wrong, so please, if you don't mind, let us know. And, this is important for us to all collaborate and share the information, especially if you have different techniques we can all learn from each other. So what method would you use, and what techniques do you use as far as the wash away is concerned?
Okay, so without going in too far into detail, because there's a lot of information, but normally embroidery thread is very thin, and obviously it will not hold that well to wash away because of the thinness of the thread.
Okay.
When you use real sewing thread,
right,
that a lot of the top fashion designers use, the actual thread wash density will not shrink in the wash. It will actually hold to the garment and actually be soft inside the t-shirt or hoodie or sweatshirt.
I have to agree with you on that, because in high fashion, and guys, this is one of the things that I do. When I go out and I see stuff in stores, I look on the back a lot. And sometimes I do see garments that has very fine embroidery that don't have any stabilizer on the back. I have seen that, and it looks good on the front. So is that what you're talking about, DJ Kev?
Absolutely. I'm trying to get more people to use more sewing thread versus embroidery thread. I'm not trying to down embroidery thread because I use it for certain projects and what have you, but most of the time when you're dealing with clothing, you want to use sewing thread.
Okay. Now,
the only thing that sewing thread doesn't offer is the high sheen.
Right, the high, like the poly neon type of situation.
Correct.
Right. Interesting. So, guys, what we have to do is, and I encourage you guys to do it, when you go out into a fashion store, high fashion store, and you see embroidered items, don't be afraid to look at it. Look at can I do this at home? What method did they use to do this? look at the back of the garment, look and compare it to your items that you produce, right? And that's what I do often. That's why I agree, Kev, because I've seen items that look really, really good, and when I look on the back, there's no stabilizer on them, right? So in certain instances, I do see stabilizers on them. Certain instances on super high fashion, you won't see the backing at all because they sew over top of it, so you can't see it, right? So so what machines do you use, DJ Kev?
I use a Tajima. I got some old brothers in here as well.
Awesome.
But I like to share with everybody, what I'm really talking about when it comes to sewing thread.
Yeah, please.
So there's different sizes of sewing threads that you can use for embroidery. So say, for instance, if you got big varsity script letters that you're trying to embroider on a hoodie, there's a certain type of sewing thread that provides enough thickness where you don't have to use a lot of density when you digitize your design.
Okay.
And it comes out very good. When you use embroidery thread, you got to pack on more, even if you have to use on a lot of underlay to hold those stitches. With sewing thread, you don't really need a whole lot of underlay.
Okay. So where do you get your sewing thread from?
I actually use a company out of New York. They're called Wawak. The best sewing thread that I've used, that I've been taught, is Saba. Made by a company called Amon.
And when we're using the sewing thread, are we using a normal 67511 needle that comes with our machine, or are you changing your tensions? Are you using a different type of needle? What's your technique?
Normally with sewing thread, they come in what's called text sizes.
Okay.
And so text sizes just means the thickness of the thread. So I normally use a text 30, 25, and a 40. A 40 is a real thicker sewing thread where you can back down your density at least 10% from what you normally would.
Okay. And what type of needle are you using?
I normally don't go no higher than an 8012.
Okay. So your needle is a little bit more blunt, a little bit bigger, actually, right?
An 8012 for hoodies because, you got a thicker material. I wouldn't use an 8020 in a T-shirt because it'll put a bigger hole in the T-shirt.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Hey, man, listen, feel free to drop any more gems on us. We are listening. We are opening. Listen, I tell everybody, no matter how experienced you think you are in embroidery, there's always more things to learn, and you're going to continuously learn things no matter how many years you got it in. You're getting it in. So, DJ Kev, thank you so much for calling, and I appreciate you, man.
All right, one last comment I want to say.
Of course.
I confess as well, when I first got into embroidery, I was suckered into just buying embroidery thread. And then I met a guy who worked for Abercrombie & Fitch for 30 years. And he showed me really what it's about, doing designs with real sewing thread. And you get a better perception. You can charge more. As long as you learn how to use the thread correctly and digitize, you should be great.
So let me ask you, do you digitize also?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is it different digitizing for sewing thread versus digitizing with the regular poly neon thread that we all use? Like, obviously, you did mention there's a 10% density difference. So you go lighter on the density with the sewing thread is what you're saying. But digitizing the actual design, is it what's the difference?
Now, digitizing is not much of a difference. I mean, everybody has their own style on how they like to digitize.
Right.
I do most of my stuff manually. I do manual underlays. I don't use the software's underlay. So I get a better result when I do it.
Okay. Interesting. So when you say manual underlay, you physically make your own type of tatami stitch? Oh, no. Underlay, yes. Underlay, like a zigzag underlay. You make your own type of underlay.
Well, my underlay is a little bit different. It has more coverage. so
Okay.
I can actually use less density on like a satin stitch.
That makes sense because if you have more of an underlay, it keeps the integrity of that actually of the actual design. So that 100% makes sense in digitizing.
And
Yeah.
that's how you're able to have a wash away backing because you already got structure on the garment when you do your underlay.
Right. Okay. So let me ask you, how many different types have you used? Just Brother and Tajima, or have you used other machines? Because we need to get down into the dirt here. How many machines have you used? What types of machines have you used?
I mean, I played with a few, but the ones I own is Tajima and Brother.
So Tajima's and Brothers are the ones are your machines of choice.
Well, it's what I'm accustomed to. Yes.
Right.
I mean,
Have,
I'm looking into other ones, but I haven't really like made that leap yet.
yeah. What do you think about ZSKs and Berdens?
Berdens are great for hats.
Okay.
The frames for hats are top notch, in my opinion.
Better than your Tajimas.
Yes.
Okay. And what have you seen the ZSKs?
I have, they are very impressive. I don't like their
Yeah.
digitizing software,
Right.
but they come with attachments that you can do like sequins, Chanel, different things.
Right. What do you think about these new machines, the buy machines?
I think they're good. I just don't know if I would invest if I don't have the support where I'm at.
Right. And where are you located? In case anybody didn't know.
I'm in North Carolina, the East Coast.
Okay. And dare I ask you, what's your take on Racoma machines?
I don't have anything bad to say. I think they're okay machines. I just haven't played enough with them.
Right. See, that's one of the things that I always tell people on my channel. I say when they ask me, what do I think about this? What do I think about Melco? What do I think about this? I always say, and people can attest in the comments, I can't give you any information about that machine because I never used it. Now, I have used the Tajimas, and I have used, the single needle brothers, but Tajima and Racoma are the only real machines that I have time on to actually talk about. So I don't really give advice about Melcos or anything like that. But what I do always say about Melcos, which has changed recently, is the fact that prior to recently, their machines couldn't function without an actual computer, but now they have a new machine that functions standalone by itself. So they listened and they improved on their technology. So yeah. But yo,
So last thing, I swear this is the last comment.
No. Keep on going by all means.
So I just want to tip my hat off to you for going on YouTube and sharing your information and your journey.
I appreciate that.
I think it helps the community.
Yeah, definitely.
I haven't really got on a platform like YouTube because I do too much work inside, so I don't have the time to do it.
Right.
But I would love to share more knowledge to help people have other options when they do their embroidery.
Yeah.
And I think they'll actually love it more and get more credit for what they're doing.
So, where did you say you were located again?
I'm in North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay. I want to ask you so many more questions, man. Like, geez.
Well, I'll email you and I'll give you my information. You can chat with me.
Okay. What's the price difference between regular thread versus the poly neon quote unquote embroidery thread that we use?
Perception.
Okay. No, the price difference. Is it more expensive?
Oh, no, the thread itself?
Yeah.
Cheaper.
It's cheaper.
Yes.
I like cheaper. And how does it act in the machine? Is it stronger? I think it's stronger. Is it stronger or is it weaker than poly neon? To me, is thin and it's not as strong as regular sewing machine thread. What's your take on that?
The sewing thread is a cotton poly core. Mm-hmm. So it has some elements of poly in it.
Okay.
but it has more. It's hard to say. It's got less shrink resistance, but it
Right.
adds more coverage to your designs
Because it's a
more than a
more
regular
denser
embroidery thread.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it's stronger. Is it safe to say that it's stronger?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. That's all that. Yeah. Okay. Hey, man. Thank you so much. I am
Absolutely.
definitely going to give myself some regular thread. And with the regular thread, does it come in like big spools like the embroidery thread does?
Yes.
All right. One last time.
But the
Where do you
smaller
get
spools
regular
that you
thread
can
from?
order give you plenty as well. The only
Now
big
where?
ones I order, obviously, is like white and black.
Right. Where do we get it from again?
There's a company online called Wawak. They're out of New York.
Wall walk or wow walk?
Wawak, Wawak.
Wow walk. Aha. Bring it up on the screen so everybody can see. All right. Wawak. Wawak. They need to give you a sponsorship, by the way, man, because
No, man,
screen so
I
everybody
don't
can
take
see.
credit for none of this. I had to learn from somebody else.
All right, so regular sewing thread right here. It doesn't offer the high sheen. There's so many different kinds. Isocord. What? Some of these are embroidery threads, right? So what are we looking for?
Isocord is embroidery thread, yes.
Yeah, but what are we looking for when regular thread? So are all these sewing threads regular threads or?
Yeah, you got embroidery and you got sewing, you got quilting in there, you got sergers, it's all thread types.
Okay, so sewing thread by brands, sewing thread by materials, sewing thread, because all of them say
Go
sewing
to
thread,
Saba
none of them
thread.
say embroidery. Go to what now?
Saba thread.
Saba thread. Okay,
Yeah, you should see it.
Saba thread. Okay, I see it. Saba all-purpose. Which one do you look? Are you looking at the screen right now? Which one do you use?
Yeah, just go to the thread tab
Mm-hmm.
and then click on Saba.
Okay, thread.
No, the thread tab. You see where it's got the
Uh-huh.
well, it should pop up, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
All
thread.
right, so those are your text sizes, 24, 30, and 40.
Okay.
24 is like probably the same thickness as your embroidery thread.
Mm-hmm.
30 is a little bit thicker, and 40 is thicker than that.
So you're using 40, you said, right?
40 for most big designs, yes, especially satins.
Okay.
Satin
Listen,
splits
man,
works great.
I'm gonna experiment with this stuff. I'm gonna experiment with this
Now,
stuff.
for a text 40, I would use the 80-12 needle.
80-12. Okay, I definitely have some 80. I
Yeah.
got a bunch of all size needles ready to go already. So I'm gonna experiment with some of this stuff, man. So I thank you so much for coming on, and there are a bunch of colors available. I'm gonna order the white and the black, probably a thicker spool, and something comparable to what we normally get, and test it out and report back to everybody. Yo, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Not a problem. I'll email you. That way you can have my contact info.
All right. Good talking to you, man. Thank you so
All right,
much.
man. See y'all.
All right.
Yep, bye.
Take it easy. All right. So there you have it, guys. DJ Kev, thank you so much for calling in, man. I appreciate all the insight. I always love, that's why I don't always, a lot of times when I encourage you guys to call in and ask you guys to call, nobody ever calls in, but DJ Kev was so nice enough to join in the live and share some valuable, did I say valuable? Gems with us. And definitely, I'm about to order right now as soon as I get off this live and get some of this stuff and test it out with some of my pre-existing designs, embroider on some hats, and test it out and see what I can figure out, because we all want to get to that next level, right? We want to get to that high fashion level and know all the ins and outs and know what they're doing in these production houses to produce these high quality garments. And that's what we all are trying to get to. So we all should be trying to get to. So yeah. Precious Pieces says, thanks for this. No problem. CFS, thanks for this. Eighth Wonder says, great live. Yeah, I'm enjoying myself. I'm like, yeah, DJ Kev like dropped them gems on us. So I appreciate that a lot. So, one last thing. All right, so I did this video the other day, right? What video? It was a live. It was a live, and I was talking about the best DTF printer to buy on a budget, right? And people thought that that video was misleading. And the reason why they thought, here it is right here. I'm gonna show you a screenshot of it right here. It says right there, the third video down, best DTF printer to buy on a budget. And one of the things that happened is I got 2 people in the comments saying that the title was misleading. And here's what I have to say to that. If you click on a video expecting to hear what you want to hear, and your mind is not open to reality, then you're going to think that the title is misleading. What I'm not going to do is give you guys bad advice on this channel, especially based off of my expertise and my experience. I can't lie to you guys, right? So it's like I'll be totally disregarding everything that I've learned. And people thought that that video was misleading because I did not give them a budget-friendly DTF printer to buy. The best DTF printer to buy on a budget is not going to benefit you. In my experience, all those lower price DTF printers, and some of you guys can chime in the comments, all of those lower price DTF printers, they hardly produce enough volume for you to make back the money that you spent before they break. Does that make sense? Did I say that right? They'll break and stop functioning before you made enough profit to even break even with the money that you spent to purchase the printer. You guys following? I might not be saying that right, but you guys understand me, right? So therefore, there is no best budget-friendly DTF printer because in my experience, they always break before you break even with the money that you spent, or you barely get past the amount of money that you spent in profit and earnings selling DTFs or selling t-shirts or whatever before parts start going bad in those printers. So the best DTF printer to buy on a budget is no DTF printer. Buy transfers. Buy transfers until you can afford to buy something like an R2 Pro or something equivalent to that, because that's the only printer that I know that will last you, or printers along that line. And when I say along that line, printers that look like that printer, that have the same internals of that printer, right? So you're around a 15, I don't know how much the R2 Pro goes for right now, but I just wanted to clear that up and put that out for those people that are watching this live that might be interested in buying a budget-friendly DTF printer. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your money. Just buy something that's going to last, because if you buy a budget-friendly DTF printer, it's not going to last. All right, it doesn't have those features that DTF printers have that should last. It's not built to last. It doesn't have the inner components. They just go bad. The parts go bad. So it's like it's not worth the money spent. All right. So there you have it, guys. So there you go. JSMS Creation says that's true. My DTF printer broke before I got my money back. There you go. So therefore, I'm not gonna make a video telling you guys to buy this when it's not going to be beneficial to your finances. All right. So there you have it, guys. So I had a good time with this live. I'm going to edit the video that I had for you guys to edit yesterday, talking about my DTF ventilation setup that I've upgraded. So I encourage you guys that are in the DTF space to watch that video, and leave some comments down below and let me know what you guys think about the pricing of that job that we talked about earlier. embroidery price calculators available on AlanAwade.com. Just search calculator and you can download that, $15. And I'll talk to you guys on the next live, man. Great talk. Great talk. I had a good time. So much information today. Man. All right. I'll talk to you guys on the next live. DTF transfers, AlanAwade.com, embroidery. Email me for your custom jobs, but AlanAwade.com, DTF prints, faster than the person that you use right now. All right.